Hi, Simone.
Hi, Alex.
And thank you, as always, for joining me here today. So, this morning, Axfood released its interim report for the first quarter 2026. How would you summarize the report?
I would summarize the quarter with a positive customer traffic, increased volumes, and also improved result. And that also was led by improved productivity and also the volume increase. That I'm really happy to see that we have a positive result development. Also, we made a lot of investments in improving the customer meeting and also strengthening our positions in our various chains, where it makes us unique in the Swedish market by having our different concepts meeting different customer preferences.
So if we start off with the market, market growth was 4.4% in the quarter, so quite strong. What is your take on the market growth?
Yeah, we had a strong market development, as you said, 4.4%. And that was primarily driven by volume increase, since we saw that the inflation came down a lot during the first quarter. Also, even in March, we had deflation. So positive volume trends in the market. We also have some effect from the Easter coming a little bit earlier this year, and also high activity level and intense competition due to Easter, of course, but also since you know the half of the VAT that came down from 12 to 6% from the 1st of April. However, that also led to an intense activity level also by the end of March.
So if we then turn to Axfood and the development of the retail concepts. Can you talk us through that briefly?
Yeah, Willys strengthened its positions as the leading discounter in Sweden. Hemköp had a really strong development in increasing both market share and also had a very positive customer traffic and increased average ticket value that also led to a strengthened profitability in Hemköp. In City Gross, we are having a high activity level in strengthening the chain as a strong player in the hypermarket segment with the positive like-for-like growth and also positive effects in the cost levels. Snabbgross, our restaurant wholesaler, had a weaker development in sales. However, they managed to with a strong cost focus to deliver a result in line with last year. And last, Dagab had a stable margin thanks to a strong growth and also positive effects in productivity. However, a little bit weaker margin due to investments in the market. And also in the end of the quarter, we saw a weaker currency, the Swedish krona, and also some increased costs for fuels.
So if we dig a little bit deeper into the main banners, the biggest banners, Willys, Hemköp and City Gross, and let's start with Willys. Can you elaborate a little bit on the Q1 performance?
Yeah, so Willys has a really strong position, as we talked about a little bit earlier, as a strong concept in the Swedish food retail. It's the most recommended food retailer in Sweden. However, we had a little bit weaker sales development than what we had hoped for. That is due to some phasing regarding our establishments in the quarter who came. The new stores opened late in the quarter. Also, we have closed 2 stores due to relocations that will open up later. And also we made some large modernizations that also affected the like-for-like sales negatively. We also strengthened the position as the leading discounter in Sweden. So due to the reduction of the VAT that came the 1st of April, we chose to go in advance. So we reduced the prices already 2 days in advance prior to the VAT reduction to strengthen the position as a leading discounter. However, that had a negative effect on the result. And also we didn't really see the volumes that we were expecting. So it also has a negative effect on the sales for Willys. However, Willys has a really strong position and we see a great potential to continue have a high pace in expanding Willys. Yeah.
And then Hemköp. A strong quarter for Hemköp,
yeah,
obviously.
We're so happy to see the development in Hemköp. Hemköp has been working for many years in strengthening its concept, and we have made some really successful modernizations that we see the result of in the quarter. We have also worked thoroughly with enhancing the customer offering, with strengthening the prices, the price position, also improving and developing the customer offering regarding fresh produce, meal solutions. And I would say that this is the result of a long focused work that we've been doing, and the customers really like it. That's what we see both in growth and in profitability in Hemköp for the quarter.
And then, of course, we have City Gross, a continued positive trend. Can you elaborate?
Yeah, as you said, a positive trend, result of a high pace in all the activities that we're doing to strengthen City Gross, to become a strong player in the hypermarket segment. So we see a positive like-for-like sales. The total sales is going down, of course, since we are closing stores that are underperforming. But we also see positive effects in the result due to a more efficient operational model and also a lower cost rates in City Gross.
So, okay, so the sort of quarterly growth and performance aside and the banners, Axfood is also investing for the future. Is there anything specific this quarter that you would like to highlight?
Yeah, of course, we're investing both in expansion, in new stores, in modernizing stores to have even better customer meetings. We are changing and working a lot with how we work, the way of working. We have implemented more than 100 AI models the last couple of years to become even more efficient and have an even more customized customer meeting. We have also, during the quarter, implemented a new buying and forecasting system, and that will help us to become even more efficient in our value chain. And also in reducing our emissions, we have last year we phased out all our fossil fuels, both in our own transports and also the other transports. So all our transports are now fossil free, and that reduces the emissions by 15% in the quarter.
So a lot of things going on here,
Yeah.
obviously, and also a lot of new product launches in the assortment of private label products.
Yeah, we launched over 100 new private label products during the first quarter, and we are focused on, of course, in all product categories, but especially in our personal care segment and also in our international assortments. We are widening the assortments.
And then also, of course, sustainability and health.
Yes, of course.
Thank you, Simone. I think that was all of my questions here today. Is there anything you would like to add before we end?
No, I'd like to summarize that we're closing a quarter with increased customer traffic. We increased our volumes, and we also strengthen our profitability and also strengthen our customer meetings in all our different banners. And by that, we are creating value for all our stakeholders.
Thank you, Simone.
Thank you.